The Memphis Grizzlies have now won 11 of their last 13 games after demolishing the Golden State Warriors by 51, the biggest blowout of the 24-25 NBA season. With the second best record both in the Western Conference overall and in the NBA since November 20th, the Grizzlies are also leading the association in points per game over the last month by far. It's a Memphis squad that most know for being run by Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane, which is the team's big three, but this team's depth is lethal. Through 34% of the season, an astonishing 12 players are averaging at least 7.6 points. 7 of those players in Scottie Pippen Jr., incredibly efficient rookies Zach Edey and Jaylen Wells, Santi Aldama, plus the big three, are posting double-figure scoring averages, making this an overwhelmingly well-rounded offensive attack. 23-year-old from Spain and out of Loyola University, Maryland, Santi Aldama was drafted with the 30th overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft by the Utah Jazz, with his rights later being traded to the Grizzlies in exchange for Jared Butler. Establishing himself as one of the best sixth men in the NBA, Aldama's averaging career highs across the board in his fourth year as a pro. Leading the Grizzlies in rebounds per game, Aldama's pulling down 7.5 boards in 26.5 minutes on average through 28 outings. Against the Warriors, Sandy Claus led the game in scoring with 21 points and rebounding with 14 boards. Aldama finished as a plus 28 in what was his fourth 20-plus point game of the 24-25 season so far. With how he's able to take it off the dribble, pass the basketball effectively, defend with intelligent perceptiveness, as well as shoot threes at what's currently a 38.9% clip, Aldama's developed into someone who can be looked back upon as a steal at pick number 30. At age 23, who knows how good Sandy's going to get with his skill set? He can do a little bit of everything, which makes him a big to keep an eye on that has some of the most potential across the entire league. The 4-year product of Indiana State and Wake Forest University, Jake LaRavia, was selected by the Minnesota Timberwolves with the 19th overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft. His rights were then traded to Memphis along with a future second-round pick in exchange for the 22nd and 29th picks in the draft, which would later become Walker Kessler and Ty Washington. LaRavia is a scrappy, shot-creating three-level threat who thrives at setting up teammates and maneuvering through the lane to find space for open jumpers. Versus the Dubs, Jake posted a season-best 19 points, and he also dished out 3 assists in 24 minutes. On the topic of LaRavia's dime dropping, in November, he dished out 4.1 assists per game, which, speaking to how deep this team is, was only good enough for 5th best on the Grizzlies in the month, as in that category, LaRavia trailed Desmond Bane, Scottie Pippen Jr., Marcus Smart, and Morant. At the 2023 trade deadline, the Grizzlies acquired the now 8-year veteran and career 44% three-point shooter Luke Kennard in a 3-team trade from the Clippers, where they sent Danny Green to the Rockets and 3 second-round picks to LA. Kennard led the NBA in three-point percentage in 2022-23. More incredibly, displaying him as one of the greatest deep-range assassins the game of basketball has ever seen, Kennard's career 43.9% three-point percentage ranks 3rd in NBA history, just ahead of Drazen Petrovic and only trailing Hubert Davis and Steve Kerr. This season, Luke's 46% three-point percentage on 3.9 deep-range attempts per game ranks 11th in the association. 4th on the most recent Kia Rookie of the Year ladder, Jaylen Wells is averaging a stellar for a first-year player average of 11.4 points and 3.4 rebounds per game off the bench for Coach Taylor Jenkins. Wells was one of Stephen Curry's primary defenders on a night where Curry was shockingly held to just 2 points and 0 field goals. That's right, a donut. Along with some other post-game interviews featuring Santi Aldama and franchise player Morant, to go along with Jaren Jackson Jr., here was Jaylen Wells.
Feels good to know I did my job. Feels good to know I did my job, and I mean, I feel like that helps for winning, so it definitely feels good. It's a great team win.
You come into a game like that knowing you got somebody of his caliber as a scorer like that, what kind of goes in your mind as a defender?
Just don't let him touch the ball. He's good at lulling you to sleep and just making you think he's out of the play, and then all of a sudden he's going. So just staying engaged, staying low. I think for me, someone who's so tall and guarding a sort of person, just staying in a low stance the whole time, just because, I mean, they're already lower than me. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Is there one you remember? Is it extra meaningful in any time?
It feels good. It feels good. You know, my Washington State coaches used to say I can't play defense, so I'm gonna make sure I send a screenshot to the defensive coach.
Me, when I was out there, it was very fun. When I wasn't, it was even funner. You know, seeing the guys continue to, like, we didn't. I feel like we didn't miss a beat. We didn't drop off at all during this game, I didn't think. And you know, just to have guys come in and, you know, keep up that level of play on both ends of the floor is big time. So I was extremely happy for that.
Jaren, looked like a couple times you were in Zach Edey's ear, telling him to stay tough. They couldn't hold him. What was that like when you see him respond to that kind of level up that you insist?
It's just, you know, making sure he, you know, keeps his confidence. Obviously, he's going to be a big piece of this team. It's trouble for, you know, guys to guard. So, you know, as long as I'm instilling confidence in him every time, continue to make him believe in himself and, you know, push him to that next level of what I know he can be in this league. But like, he'll be fine. You know, he's just coming back, so he's still trying to, you know, get in the groove a little bit. But he's been terrific.
I feel like there's narratives and storylines with a lot of teams we play over the years because of how competitive we are and we pop it. So I think, like, that's just great for the sport, coming into this game, having that kind of energy and that build up for the fans, and do it trickle down in the locker room, maybe, but we have so many games that I think a little bit of that is good at times. So it was good competitive atmosphere. I'm glad it was at home. I'm glad it was here.
That said, I mean, I think your answer right there shows that you guys are been a little bit more business-like in this type of thing. You know, when you have the opportunity to fire back, it seems like guys aren't going for that anymore. Is that intentional? Do you think that kind of shows the maturity of this team?
Yeah, maybe that just came with age. I mean, I feel like we just got older. We realized how many games there were. And I think when it happened before, I mean, we've been playing with, a lot of the core has been playing with each other for a while. And I don't know, I don't think I can explain it totally, but maybe we're just getting older.
What did it feel like to be up by 50 against this team? If you could be honest about just, you know, obviously you know what this rivalry means and what it's meant to you guys, but to be up by 50 on your home court playing as well as you guys play.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. You know, like, when you see blood, you got to go get it. And that's what we were talking about. Like, we want to beat them like this every single time. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but, like, that's in the back of our minds. Being honest, like, they got one win, we got one win. Like, doesn't matter by how much you beat them, but, like, you want to make sure they know, like, you're coming.
This was your boy DFlow, and I'll see you next video.